Welcome to the drum unit project. In this project, we're going to be taking all the things that we've learned in this unit and putting them together to create a project. Now, I've already gone and created a whole bunch of different building blocks for myself, and you're going to do the same thing. So you'll get your project, which won't be the same as mine, and your job will be to create different drum elements that you can use throughout the project. So for example, I have one snare. Our rules for the snare are very simple. The snare goes on 2 and 4. So if you take a look at my section, it's in bar 11. Okay, you can see my snare on 2 and 4. So I just have one copy of that section, and I'll use that everywhere. Now for the kick, I'm going to create one right now. And so let's use, I like to use the piano. I'll use the piano roll first, or sorry, the patterns, and then I will go on to the next thing. So if you remember for the kick, the rules are you always have to place the kick on 1, and then we want to put it in other spots throughout the bar. Okay, make sure that not too many are placed in a row. So let's play this and kind of insert notes as we go. Okay, so this would be an example of a pretty heavy section for a kick. This will be my pattern A, and if you remember, we kind of focused on creating a couple different patterns. So you could either have just one pattern, so A in bar 11, A in bar 12, and you just copy and paste that pattern over and over again. So that would look like this. And then 13, I'd paste the same thing, 14, and then I would merge them together by saying merge region. Okay, so that's one way to do a pattern. I'm gonna keep this here and just copy this over to here. So that will be a heavy pattern. But now I want to actually change this a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of all of that. And let's go to bar 12 and change the pattern. Okay, so I kind of like that. And I'm just going to cut this here and copy and paste, merge regions. And so now I have another drum pattern. Now, one way that you can also do this is if you realize that the pattern that you've created, maybe it has too many notes or you want it to have more notes, as you arrange things, you can always add or subtract notes. Okay, so feel free to edit these after the fact. They're not set in stone once you make them. Okay, so I'm going to show you how I would typically arrange a project like this. And so like I said, here's my heavy section. I have my hi-hat. I don't really have a lot of hi-hat sections, but I'll make them as I go. And so you can feel free to do that. I think having the building blocks over here can be helpful, but you don't have to. So I'm just going to copy and paste this entire thing because I want to use it again for the second half of the chorus. Okay, so if you remember, this project only has intro, verse, chorus. Your project might also have a pre-chorus. And the idea is the same as always, right? You want it to gradually grow and the chorus needs to be the biggest. So my verse is going to be very small. Okay, so I'm going to go over to the first half of my verse, and I'm going to bring this over as well. And I'll show you how to make a pattern on the spot. So I'm going to go to my kick. And I'll create a region. And so this is bar 3. Just going to keep it really simple. So I'll do an A-B pattern. So this will be A again, and then B again. And I'll just modify the end. So it's, I guess, A, B, A, C. Back when I was only new. If you only knew we was living. And I'm not even going to have a snare in this section, okay, because I really want it to kind of build it up. So I'll add a snare here. Okay, now because my intro is so short, actually I'm not even going to have kick in the intro. And I won't introduce the hi-hat until maybe the chorus. Or if I do introduce a hi-hat, it'll be a very, very simple one. So let's create a really simple hi-hat right now. So this is bar 7. So down here, I want a hi-hat region. And we'll make it 4 bars, and so bar 7. I'll do every other one until the last beat. Actually, you know what? I'm just going to keep it simple like that. And then repeat that pattern. So it'll be an A-B pattern for my hi-hat as well. And not sure what it's, okay, it's talking about. So it's saying that bar 11 has some unquantized notes. I do not want to quantize, okay, not at all. So it might not allow me, let me move this out of here. It might not allow me to create my last bar because of those unquantized notes. So I just temporarily removed the complicated pattern. There we go. And now I'll stick it back, and it's going to tell me, hey, bar 11 has unquantized notes. Yeah, don't care. I don't want you to quantize it.
We was booking all our own shows. Out of pocket, we ain't take dough. Made merches on our own clothes.
Okay, so let's hear this whole progression now from the beginning. No kick there. Probably not even gonna have any drums in my intro.
Back when I was only new. If you only knew, we was living broken, so confused, hadn't broken through. We was living by the golden rule. Yeah, you know the rules. Influential, yeah, you know the pool. Yeah, you know the pool. We was booking all our own shows. Out of pocket, we ain't take dough. Made merches on our own clothes. We ain't never had our old folks. Now they all tryna claim. Nah, brother, that's just lame. Same gang. And a damn green chain.
So if we just soloed the drums, we would hear a pretty good transition from the intro, which is nothing. Just that. A little bit bigger. Much bigger. Okay, and that's more or less what we want. So these patterns are going to help you kind of determine that. But once again, you don't necessarily need to have your building blocks. You can kind of just create it on the fly and edit as you go. So I might want to edit this pattern and change it a little bit. So I might take out some notes or add some notes, whatever. But tweak as you go so that, yeah, you make things make sense. Okay, same thing with the hi-hat. But I find that when you have a bunch of pattern options, then it's very easy to just drag and drop them in. And of course, you can label them. So if this is your super heavy kick drum, you can just see where it says edit. You can just click on there, edit name, and then you can edit the region and say, you can call it maybe like heaviest kick. Okay, that way when you hover over it, you can remember which kick is which. Okay, same thing with the hi-hat patterns. That way you don't have to kind of open it up every time. So my hi-hat pattern, it has all these complicated patterns because I'm using the piano roll to create them. Okay, so that's the idea. Don't forget to, when you need to also name your tracks. You need to color code them properly with this dark pink. And that's about it. All right, so enjoy the project. Review videos in this unit if you've forgotten some of the rules or things like that. And good luck.